Hello again. Thank you very much for joining me here on Movie Ninja. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about the Sandman. Now, where do you begin with this? Okay, so for those of you who are unaware, I'm a bit of a comic book nerd, and so this has actually been on my wish list of like adaptations for many, many years. I've read the original 12 volumes in college, and I believe like at that time I've read it through about 3 times. So I had heard more like a production rumor that Netflix was going to, or some company was going to be adapting this. But that being said, this rumor had been the stuff of dreams for more than, say, conservatively 20 years. And there's a lot writing in on this. So among Mr. Gaiman's works, Neil Gaiman, the author of the series, was not the creator of the characters. Those are actually established DC characters. Destiny, Death, Dream, the Endless. I'm already starting to nerd out. Okay, so I'm getting far and ahead of myself with this. So, but this had been a rumor for a very, very long time. And I admit, like in my queue, there was, like for Netflix, there was an announcement, worth the wait. In the worth the wait, where they never give you any details. They might give you a sampling of a trailer, depending on if the production company like has that. But I didn't even know that this was already done and this is already out. And I admit, I hesitated. I hesitated before diving in. Because, like, and this is not just for graphic novels. This is for anyone who has, like, I mean, I don't know, like any piece of literature that exists and you put it up on this very, very high pedestal. Almost like, well, going into this project, that this will not live up to expectations. That's the inherent risk of it. It's a risk that the producers took, because this is but like, not just for fans of Neil Gaiman, not just for fans of fantasy, there are a lot of people that wanted this to succeed, myself included. And for myself, it exceeded all expectations. I'm very satisfied with how this series turned out. So, going into it, okay? This is the story, like season 1, The Sandman. This is the story of Dream of the Endless. Dream is the ruler and the realm entire of dreaming. The subconscious conflation of all like experience and just unknown possibilities of, like, I tried to describe it and it will make no sense and all sense. He is the dream realm. The dream realm is him. As I mentioned, he's part of a collection of characters referred to as the Endless, beings of infinite existence. And by that I mean, since in the established lore of the Endless, they have always existed as long as the multiverse has existed. And they are the fabric, the distillation, the rulers of various aspects of existence. Destiny, death, desire, despair, destruction, and of course, dreaming. So, that's who Dream of the Endless is. So what is the Sandman about? The Sandman is about an unfortunate inconvenience that Dream had to endure at the very beginning of the 20th century. Some magicians got together. They decided to have a night of drink and frolic, chanting, a little knife play, and just see where it takes them. Okay, so aside from being facetious, they were trying to capture death. For the prototypical reason, okay, just like the insane mission misfired. Anyone who ever saw The Storyteller and like The Soldier in Death, like even the concept. Oh, okay, we're gonna capture death, so no one or nothing will die. Oh, wouldn't that be great? Anyways, these magicians, they got together, they performed a ritual, and they did not capture death. They captured Dream instead. And unfortunately, due to his capture, he was robbed of several key aspects of himself. He was robbed of his helm, he was robbed of his sand, and robbed of his ruby. So, the story, this first season is mostly in two halves. The first half deals with his imprisonment. The second half deals with the chaos that ensued in his absence. Because, as I mentioned, in this, albeit somewhat cat's cradle, summary recap and adulation of this series, when Dream is separated from the dream realm, well, everything just began to decay. And of course, the waking world, the world that all of us live in and all of us exist in, unfortunately had to deal with several key repercussions. As I try to stay away from spoilers, I will do so here and now. So, to go back over, y'all, I am trying to contain my enthusiasm. So if it seems like I'm a little bit scattered, I admit I am a bit. Like, even for my own ADD self, like, I admit this is somewhat scattered. But I'm trying to maintain composure, because this is such a fantastic series. This is so much better than I thought it was going to be. I was watching through this, like, I was watching through this with, like, I was expecting a hammer to drop at some point. It's like, oh, like, it's this good so far, but they're gonna mess it up somehow. They're gonna do something, and it's gonna ruin it. It's gonna ruin everything. And, like, no. Like, admittedly, it is, as an adaptation, it's not like one-to-one exact parallels. It's not cookie cutter. It doesn't need to be. A good adaptation following the source material is enough. And this follows, because I don't have the complete collection. Why? Because I have bills. and these nerddom costs money. Okay? Everything costs money, Movie Ninja. I'm aware of that. I'm just saying. Okay. Especially because like all of these like newer like volumes and editions, like they're a bit costlier these days. Anyways, so this is Netflix. You did a great job with season 1. As I mentioned, like nothing is perfect, but this is so much better than I thought it was going to be. You know? The story of Dream, the story of like trying to comprehend the character who is extremely mercurial, who is extremely unknowable, and as the conflagration of the unconscious that works so well. Just like you can't put one tone on Dream, you know? He's arrogant but sensitive. He's maniacal but kind. He is sincere and blunt. He's all these things. The actor, Tom Sturridge, actually did a very, very good job of portraying this character. And it's hard to, like, I admit, this is not me at my most eloquent. However, as I mentioned, and as those of you who have watched the show many times, I do have to try to rein myself in with my enthusiasm to prevent redundancy, as well as to also avoid the risk of overhype. So, bearing that in mind, with regards to Netflix Season 1 of The Sandman, I call it an incredible success. This is wonderful. The performances are very strong. The economy of episodes, it's 10 episodes, it was very well done. The production was extremely well done for just the 10 episodes. I think if they play everything right, and Netflix, you've canceled some gems on us, and I'm just gonna upset myself if I start the list, which I will not. This is about the Sandman, and because it is, I will be positive. It's a great series. This is among some of the best work that has been commissioned by Netflix. So that being said, when it comes to adaptations of Mr. Gaiman's work, at least for streaming services, for television, so you have Bad Omens, which we don't know if there's going to be any sort of continuation of the various other sort of anything that also comes about from the Good Omens story, because that was a collaboration, between Mr. Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. Granted, American Gods, it got 4 seasons and that's it. 4 seasons or 3 seasons? I don't have HBO, y'all, so just bear with me, okay? If someone points out in the comment section, it only has this many seasons, it's like, okay. But, I've seen the show, and where it left off versus where the novel, the story ends. Yeah, it might get picked up by another company, it might get picked up by another studio, but, yeah, still, it would have been nice. Now, aside from this, Netflix The Sandman, if they play the cards right, they might be able to get the entire story, And I would say, with how well they did this season, 3 seasons. I would give this 3 seasons, you give the right team, the right editors, I think they could get this in at least 3 seasons. you know? And that's the wonderful thing about adapting literature, that all the work has been done for you. It's all here, okay? You don't... Okay, yes, there's casting, yes, there is the production in and of itself, but you don't have to write more than you need to, okay? Don't make your job that much harder. Don't make it harder on the audience, you know? By going off in just different directions, okay? Netflix, The Sandman is a success. I hope that they will continue on this project. And if you have not seen it, I strongly recommend this series. As I mentioned, it's a wonderful fantasy. It's a wonderful drama. My favorite episode, y'all. My favorite episode. The sound of her wings. And someone is going to say, like, well, which story? Both of them. Both stories? I thought you said one episode. Yes? Watch the show, y'all. Watch the show. It is worth it. It is worth your time. And it is among some of the best series that Netflix has produced. So, there's my spiel, my recap, my chaotic chaos of admiration for this series. Have you seen the show yet, y'all? What are your thoughts? You know, let me know in the comments section. Thank you very much for joining me here on Movie Ninja, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.